Hi, this is topic C, solving linear equations and inequalities. So let's look through the worked example together and see what's going on. It says solve. So remember that the command term solve means that we are trying to get the variable x all by itself, so our answer looks like x equals. Okay, so I start with 3x minus x plus 3 equals 3x plus 5 minus 2x. So first I'm going to want to work in the GEMS order, right? So I'm going to want to get rid of the groupings or the parentheses. So this is the parentheses right here. We're going to distribute a -1 to each term in the parentheses to get rid of the parentheses. Then we're going to want to combine like terms. And then once both sides are fully combined, then we start moving things from one side of the equation to the other. We want to put all the x's with the x's, or I guess they're going in this way. We want to put all the x's with the x's, and we want to put all the constants with the constants, okay? And then eventually, once we go through all these different inverse operations, we land at x equals, okay? So let's think about some tips or tricks. An equation is linear if the degree is 1. That means x has an exponent of 1. Remember, if the exponent is not written, we can assume it's just a 1. We could draw it in. Variables on the left, constants on the right. This is the way that we want to sort in order to solve. So when you are solving an inequality, if you divide by a negative, you must flip the sign. If you have a fraction for a coefficient, to get rid of it, you have to multiply by the reciprocal to get rid of it. Just remember that if you multiply by a negative number, you also have to flip the inequality symbol, okay? So don't forget that too. At the end of a problem, 0 equals 0 means infinitely many solutions. 0 equals 3, or any number where they like don't match, right, means there's no solutions. Okay. So what is the solution to 3k plus 9 is greater than 2k minus 6? So let's go ahead and solve this by hand. I'm going to want to sort so I get all the variables, or k's in this case, on the left and all the numbers on the right. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. Then I'm going to move the 2k over to be with the other k. And I'm left with k is greater than -15. So my answer is choice 4. Let's go to 2. It says solve 2 times a plus 8 equals -3a minus 6 4a. So when we solve for a specific variable, remember it tells us that we're getting that variable all by itself on the left-hand side of the equal sign. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the groupings or the parentheses here. And then remember, if it's not like totally obvious what a number is, just do it in your calculator. Don't risk getting it wrong. I saw in the practice regions a bunch of you guys were doing strange little mental math. If you're not sure, just put it in your calculator, right? So now I'm going to add the 3a on both sides, and I get 5a equals -22. When I divide both sides by 5, I'm going to end up getting an improper fraction. And I'm like, that doesn't sit well with me. I feel like it should be a nice number, but remember, it doesn't always have to be. So the way that you can check it and make sure that you got the right answer is using the feature on your calculator called nsolve. So let's nsolve this and see if we're right. Because fractions can be like, am I right? So let's go to menu 3, 1. Then you type it in like you see it, okay? And then don't forget to do the comma x at the end. So in the parentheses, you are going to type the original equation with parentheses and all. So I have 2 times And you can type in an A. Just remember you have to do comma A at the end, or you can change it to an X. I like to just change it to an X, so I'm typing in the same thing every time. Why am I in caps lock? That's weird. Okay, then I'm going to do comma X at the end. And it's negative 4.4. So let's see if negative 22 divided by 5. Oh, if you want to change that to a decimal, you can just do Control Enter. Is negative 4.4? It is. Yay! Okay, so we got it right. And we know because we checked it with NSolve. So make sure you check all your answers with NSolve. Solve for X and check your own work. Okay, so I'm solving for X. My answer is going to look like X equals. Let's hit it. I'm going to test my answer, or I guess check my answer too with NSolve at the end, okay? So I have 5x minus, and then I have a whole thing in parentheses. So I'm going to put a negative 1 and distribute it. Then I have parentheses over here as well. So now I have 6, and then I have negative 2x minus 30. So I'm going to fully sort on both sides before I move things over to the other side. So I'm going to combine the like terms on this side, and then I'm going to combine the like terms on this side, okay? So 5x minus x gives me 4x plus 18, and then 6 minus 30 is going to give me negative 24 minus 2x, okay? I'm going to now do the minus 18 on both sides, minus 18. I have 4x equals, now I've got negative, 24 minus 18 gives me negative 42 minus 2x. I'm going to move that 2x over. I'm now going to divide both sides by 6, and I get x equals negative 7. Let's check that with NSolve. Menu 3, 1. Type it in the way you see it in the beginning. It won't let me type my x. Come on. It's an x. Why won't it let me type in an x? That's so weird. Okay, I'm going to change the letter just because it won't let me type it in. Maybe it's too close to the bar or something. The bottom. All right, so minus p minus 18 equals 6 minus 2 times p plus 15. And then I have to do comma p at the end because it won't let me type in an x. I don't know why. All right, the answer is negative 7. Yay, we got it right. Boom. Okay, question 4. It says, which value would be a solution for y in the inequality? Okay, so now we're working with inequalities. So, excuse me, sorry. So now I'm going to remember that I'm going to get y all by itself on the left-hand side of the inequality. I'm going to have symbol, whatever, and then a number. Okay? So I have negative 2.7y plus 0.4 is greater than 2.8 minus 1.28, sorry, 1.2y. So I'm going to sort so I can get all the y's over on the left. And adding and subtracting with decimals, I'm definitely going to use my calculator to make sure that I get the answer right. It's negative 1.5y. And then be careful, you just divided by a negative number here, so flip that inequality symbol, okay? Okay. Then remember, you can always envision your answer on a number line, so that way if you had to answer further questions about it, like which value would be a solution for y in the inequality, you can graph it on a number line, right? Put a few numbers a little above and a little below. So I've got negative 1.6 in the middle. That means I have negative 1.5 as we head up towards 0 and negative 1.7 as we head left into the more negative. So at negative 1.6, I have an open circle because of the inequality symbol. The way that it looks, it doesn't have a line underneath. And then it says y is less than. Remember, if you put your hand on the paper, right? This is going to be, I'm drawing a hand. This is going to be really weird. If you put your hand on the paper, like over the inequality symbol, and it makes an L, it's less than. This hand only has 4 fingers on it. There we go. Okay, so it's y is less than, so I'm going to shade down, okay? So that means that if I'm looking for the value that would be a solution, I'm going to look for the next number that I hit as I head down in the inequality, and it's this. So my answer is question 4. All right. Oh, these are just the answers, so we can check them if we want. Yeah, it looks good. Woo, 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 woo. All right, let's go to question 5. Sinbad. You guys definitely don't remember this, but Sinbad was like a character in a show when I was growing up. So Sinbad solves the inequality, and he does it right over here. So whenever they give me problems like this, I always like to solve it myself because that, like, right next to it, because then it helps me figure out where the person went wrong. Otherwise, like, it's like going food shopping when you're hungry. You're like, no, I don't know, that looks kind of good. Yeah, that could be good. I don't know. So what I like to do is just solve it on my own and then compare. So if I have negative 5 outside parentheses, I'm going to distribute. I get negative 5x plus 20 is less than negative 10. I'm dividing by a negative number, so I'm going to flip the inequality symbol, and I have x is greater than 6. So, okay, he got the same thing as we did, but he says that 6 is part of the solution set. Explain to Sinbad why he is wrong. 6 is not part of the solution set because, and there's 2 ways you can prove this, okay? So you can show that if you substitute in a 6, the inequality will not be true, right? So you have a 6 and you're putting it in everywhere you see an x. And you could show that, like, this doesn't work if I do it. So I have negative 5 times 6 minus 4 is 2 is less than negative 10. Negative 10 is less than negative 10. No, it's not. They're the same. So that could be your one piece of evidence. We could say that's algebraically. You explain it. Or you could graph it on a number line, right? 6, 5, 7. And x is greater than 6, meaning it can't be 6, but it can be anything greater than 6, okay? So these could be your 2 pieces of evidence because, and then I would probably prove it using algebra, so I'd do that, okay? Let's do question 6. It says solve for x. Okay, so it looks like it's a little harder because there's a fraction now, but that's okay because we're never scared, right? We got this. So first I'm going to try to combine the like terms on either side of the inequality after I distribute. I see this number outside of parentheses, so I'm going to distribute. So I get 5 minus 2/3 times 9 is, I don't know, but I'm going to type it in my calculator, minus 2/3 times 3. All right, so we're going to type both of those in our calculator. So I've got 2/3. I don't need to put the over one. I just do that to organize it. That's 6. Oh, nice. It comes out to a nice number. So this came out to a 6. And then I'm going to do this one in my calculator right now. So 2/3. I already know the 3's are going to cancel, but let's have some mystery and some drama. Here we go. 2/3 times 3 gives me 2. That makes perfect sense because those would cancel. So I have minus 2 equals 4x plus 2 minus 10x. Okay, let's try to combine like terms on both sides. This. Okay. 5 minus 2 is 3. And then 4 minus 10 is negative 6x. And now I'm going to sort. What? Okay, anytime the x's are canceling and you get 3 equals 2, that means there's going to be no solution. Let's check it in NSolve and double check that that's what's supposed to be happening. So we got menu 3, 1. I'm going to type it in the way I see it. I hope it lets me type in an x. I don't really know what's going on with that. 5 minus 2/3. And then this whole thing is in parentheses, and 9x, yeah, it's still not letting me do it. Let's change it to a p. 9p minus 3 equals 4p plus 2 minus 10p, comma, p. No solution found. Okay, so we are correct. It is, in fact, no solution. Question 7, determine the largest integer. Okay, so when they ask me about determining the largest integer or commenting on numbers in the solution set, I'm going to solve this inequality, and then I'm going to graph it on a number line, and then I can use my number line to make sure I get the answer right, okay? So I have gems. I'm going to do my groupings. Then I'm going to do my groupings. Okay, so this is all multiplication. Careful. Okay. All right, so let's type it in here. I've got negative 1/2 times 4. That's the same thing as doing 4 divided by 2, but you know. So I've got negative 2x, and then let's do negative 1/2 times negative 4, and that gives me 2. Notice how the sign changed because I did negative times a negative. And then I'm going to copy the rest, and then let's sort. So we're going to put our solution on a number line. We're going to put a number a little above and a number a little below. Less than or equal to means I shade in, and less than or equal to. Less than or equal to means the largest integer that makes the inequality below true will be negative 1 because I can't include negative 1. So my answer is negative 1. Last question. Solve for x algebraically. If x is a number in the interval from negative 4 to 1, state all integers that satisfy the given inequality. Okay, so I need to find my range of solutions, and then I need to pick out the numbers from the set of negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, and 1 that satisfy the inequality that we found. Just remember that square brackets mean we are including the negative 4 and the 1 in our boundaries. Okay, so let's solve. I'm going to combine like terms before I sort. Now I'm going to sort. If I'm going too fast, you can always just slow the video, pause it down, whatever. Divided by a negative number, so I'm going to flip the inequality symbol. And I get x is greater than negative 3. So explain how you determine these values. I graphed the solutions on a number line, like so. I am not including negative 3, but I am greater than negative 3. I wonder why that sentence is there. Picked the numbers from -4 to 1 that were also in the solution set of the inequality. So I've got, let's see, x is less or greater than -3, which means it can't be -3, can't be 4, but it can be these 4.